Okay, let's go and take a look at our quiz question here. It says solve and graph a two-variable inequality. So here is our question, and it's going to involve a couple different moving parts, if you will. If you haven't tried this question, you might want to go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do it now. Okay, so let's take a look at the solution. And this is just going to be a summary of all the steps involved. Remember, this is a pop quiz, not a full lesson. And I'll just kind of state right up front, some of the skills that you need to understand are obviously inequalities, how to work with linear and compound inequalities, and you also need to understand how to graph lines. Okay, so if you're shaky in those two areas, then you're probably not going to understand the solution. All right, so when we're solving two variable inequalities, the first thing I want to do is take our inequality and think of it as a line. And in that case, or in this case, what we want to do is rewrite the inequality in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, you don't have to write it in this form, but to me, I find that easier. Okay, because when lines are written in what we call slope-intercept form, they're easy to graph. So here we have this inequality rewritten in this manner. So you look at it, 4x plus y is less than 1. All I did was subtract 4x from both sides of the inequality, and it left me with this. Okay, so let's suppose I told you to graph y equals negative 4x plus 1. Okay, hopefully all of you out there should be able to do that. If you can't, then you're obviously not going to be able to do this problem. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to graph this inequality. Okay, so here it is as we rewrote the problem as a line in y equals mx plus b form. So let me just show you the line. Okay, so here is the graph of this line, and you can see it has a dotted border. Okay, now the reason why it's dotted or dashed rather is because the inequality symbol is not equal to. If it was equal to, it would be a solid border. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense to you. Remember, this is not a lesson; it's just a quick pop quiz. So in this problem, because it wasn't a less than or equal to, it was just less than, we're going to have a dashed border. Okay, so there is our line, and it's dashed. Now I can see here we graphed the left-hand side of that line, and this is what we call our solution region. This is actually the answer, if you will. Now, the way to determine the solution region is to test a point on either side of the line. And the easiest point to test is the point right here in the center of the graph, that point being 0, 0, and we want to test to see if that's going to create a true or false solution. Now the point 0, 0 is the point x is 0 and y is 0. So we're going to be plugging in 0 for x and 0 for y into our inequality. So when we do that and we simplify, we have 0 less than negative 4 times 0 plus 1, we end up with this statement, 0 is less than 1. So let me go ahead and ask you, is 0 indeed less than 1? And of course, you being a smart student that you are, you're going to say, yes, of course, 0 is less than 1. That's a true statement. So the point 0, 0, where it was located with respect to this line, and it happens to be below the line, created a true statement. So therefore, the left-hand side of the line is true, is the true side. So this is our solution region. Okay, that was a lot to cover in a quick period of time, but hopefully it helped you out with this material. A lot of moving parts, once again, graphing lines, inequalities, etc. You definitely want to go back and review if you're shaky on any of that. And if you want to take more pop quizzes with me, especially if you're a homeschooler, please join me at homeschoolmathquiz.com. I'd love to see you there, and have a great day.